Welcome to Talk with Maria. I'm your host, Maria, and today we're shining a light on the vital world of home care and the compassionate individuals who make it possible. Today we explore nutrition's impact on mental health, a balanced diet that can boost energy and mood. We share practical tips for caregivers. My guest today is the world-renowned nutritional chef, Michael Thomas. Welcome to the show. So, Chef Thomas, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Maria.
You're very welcome. Tell us a little bit about your journey in your thoughts of becoming a chef.
So it captured my imagination and how the chef would prepare great meals that tasted so good but were full of creativity. So I decided to attend the Culinary Institute of America, which then proceeded to open up my world to traveling and different aspects of food culture and how we interact with food in society.
So the first dish that you made on your own after you graduated, how did that resonate?
Well, the first dish that I made on my own that was really supportive of my colleagues and my mentors were a French dish called chicken fricassee. It was a dish that is made with like a French style chicken breast that's stewed. And it really opened up my, my support for my mentors that I have the ability and the confidence to pursue this career by making the best chicken fricassee they've ever had.
Wow. What was your first lineup of employment?
From the onset, it was not as much as glamorous as I thought it would be. It's more of an operational, they call it a brigade system in the kitchen where everyone has a function. So the kitchen is really designed off the blueprints of a military operation. So once I understood that concept, I was able to understand the hierarchies and how a kitchen functions and the outcome that the kitchen is trying to achieve.
How long have you been a chef?
I've been a professional chef for about 20 years.
Wow, you look like 20.
Thank you. So I've had traveling through Miami, Dubai, Chicago. I've worked in New York. Recently, I'm working in New York right now doing the most expensive tea service in the world. So I'm very proud of my culinary journey. I've learned a lot. And through my career, I've always wanted and had a passion for teaching. So I've recently decided to take on the challenges and the rewards of being a teacher.
You went from being a chef, adding that nutritional value of being a teacher, working along with caregivers, understanding dietary needs for people that are home.
Yes.
That must give you such a fulfilling journey in your life.
It does. I think one of the most rewarding things you could do as someone who has perfected their craft or is putting a lot of time in their craft is to give back through your society or the community around you.
You know, a lot of time people take up a profession, but they don't think about giving back. And giving back is so essential. You cannot acquire anything unless you've given back. And when your glass is filled, you have to share. When your plate is filled, you have to share. And I think that's such a noble thing. So how do you see, as far as nutrition, how do you work with the impact of mental illness or mental stability with food?
Well, the first thing we start off is with clean eating. And what I mean by clean eating is, are you eating foods that are local, naturally grown from farms, that doesn't use pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides, things that are non-GMO or that are fair trade, where there's equal exchange between the producer and the consumer. So we start off with eating healthy, nutrient, vegetables, fruits. So we start off with the basic principles.
I like that because a lot of times you go to the supermarket and you look around and you have an apple and it just feels so so gluey, and you're wondering, should I eat this apple? Is an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but how am I working along with this apple here? And how am I working along with all these sprays that are on my leafy vegetables?
Exactly. Like anything in life is a trade-off. We all make a sacrifice for something. So some of us sacrifice our time for convenience. Now, that compounds through time. So you don't want to sacrifice too much of your time for your nutrition. You want to dedicate some time to healthy eating and making great choices.
But then there's two aspects, Chef. You have the busy people that's trying to make it. Everybody's on social media. Uber is making a very big impact in ordering and giving us, we could stay in bed and eat, we could walk and eat, we can drive and eat. And then we have people that are home that are ill and they have caregivers coming in and they want to have nutritious meal and you don't want to make them more sick by giving them fast and easy food. Where do we balance that?
So what we try to do, and in my teaching, what I try to do is teach the caregivers proper nutrition and proper cooking tips. So we try to add that on to caregivers such as HHAs, PCAs. We try to give them that enhanced ability to be a chef in the caregiver home. Another thing we can do is we can make decisions where the caregiver, when we do our shopping for them, we buy them healthy organic food so the caregiver has only healthy choices to make as well.
And of course, people that are listening to us from home, that's laying on their back and say, but Chef, I can't get to the kitchen and my caregiver just can't cook what I want. What would you advise them to do?
I would advise them to meal prep. So meal prep inclines starting the week off, thinking about how you're going to eat throughout the week.
Are you planning on going into people's homes and cooking?
Sure, I definitely will. Yes, absolutely. If asked, I can. Absolutely.
Wonderful. We have to take a short break. We'll be right back with nutritional insights from Chef Michael Thomas. Don't go away.
It's important to get a flu shot each and every year because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Welcome to Talk with Maria. Today we are talking about nourishing the body and the soul with Chef Michael Thomas. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. We're so impressed with food. How does that tie into the culinary journey with philosophy and mental health?
Well, mental health and food are directly correlated. So when you eat foods that are high in nutritional value, they help with your mental clarity. So when you eat foods that are dense and don't have any nutritional value, they make you have brain fog and lethargic. So foods do really play a part in how you feel and how you think.
I totally think so. Like if I ate pasta the night before, the next morning I'm just so sluggish to get up.
Yes, it could be pasta or refined sugars. If you eat a lot of things that are processed sugars,
Right.
They tend to give you high energy, and then you have like this crash where you have low energy and brain fog, and you slow down your mental clarity. So it's very important for you to find out where your food and the energy lies within your food.
Wow. That's interesting. I would wonder what's in your kitchen, Chef Michael, and how you prepare foods for yourself and your family.
So I usually start my day with something whole grain, such as an oatmeal, something that has fiber and protein, such as eggs, omelets, which we're going to demonstrate later on today.
Nice.
Things that have complete nutritional value. Eggs tend to have that, or something really heavily based in fiber and fruits. So clean energy to start the day. We save most of the refined or the sugars throughout for maybe lunch or midday.
So one should not have chocolates in the morning.
One should not have chocolates in the morning. They can have it with their oatmeal, which is
see.
totally fine. But
Okay.
the chocolate should be 70% or above. And the chocolate shouldn't have too much, so it should be dark chocolate in essence.
Let's talk about some mental health and how we mentally staying stable and watching what we put in our mouth.
So how do we do this? Well, it's the relationship that we build, and it's like everything else. The relationship that you build with yourself is the relationship that you'll build with the environment around you. Choices you make in food and your lunch and your dinner, those are reflections of the decisions that you have made for yourself.
So we're going out with friends for lunch. We started off the morning by saying, I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to even look at it. But here we are with 10 friends in a restaurant, and we are, oh, well, we can just have a little bit of this and have a little bit of that. By the end of the week, you've eaten everything that you weren't supposed to eat.
Which is totally fine, because you've appropriated that time as entertainment, and that's a special time for you, and it's not a time for you to shame yourself on what the decisions you made, because there's a time that you need to enjoy food. So as long as you accolade that time appropriately and now not doing it overabundance, of course, it's normal to have a period in time in the week to enjoy, yes.
Just splurge a little, but not
Just
too
to
much.
splurge a little, but don't, like they say, don't have your weekend be your weekend. So
Heard that? Don't have your weekend be your weekend. Wonderful. I love those stores. So you're thinking that, so clients that are suffering at home, that would like to come out of that journey of possibly not going down the trajectory of clean eating, what would you say to them?
well, clients, depending on their dietary restrictions, of course, and their meal
Yes.
plan, I would say to them that it depends, well, to have dietary supplements enhance their normal eating abilities. So when you take vitamins, omegas, things that complement the eating. So this can really boost the absorption and the nutritional impact on your ailment. Turmeric, these things can help as well in inflammation. So it becomes to a holistic. So I would focus on a holistic view on your nutrition with most of our patients and our clients.
You know, I like a lot of thyme and chive and onions and bay leaves. I understand the bay leaves are very good.
Yes.
To just kind of enhance that. When you're cooking or when you're advising a caregiver to, let's say, cook for a patient, as far as making sure that their diet is as clean as possible, whatever they can tolerate, is there any little tips that you can give us?
So when you're choosing seasonings, you should use natural herbs, natural things like thyme, rosemary, sage, coriander, parsley, to enhance the taste of the food instead of using supplemental artificial products that may maintain a lot of chemicals in them that are not conducive to healing.
We know that you have some good stuff that you're going to show us today. We want to take a short break and come back with more nutritional insight from Chef Michael Thomas. So don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be back with some good stuff.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. Judy.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Welcome back to Talk with Maria. Today we are talking with Chef Michael Thomas, and he's about to give us some healthy cooking tips.
Well, today I've demonstrated one of my unique dishes, which incorporates a healthy cooking tips for dietary restrictions.
Let's see.
So this particular dish has a dietary restriction of gluten, which is most clients have a gluten intolerance, which is celiac disease.
I see.
So this is a Thanksgiving stuffing muffin with cranberry sauce, persimmon, brie cheese, and microgreens on top. Now this stuffing is made from leftover stuffing you might have from the day prior to Thanksgiving, and it also uses gluten-free bread as well.
And so gluten-free bread has made its way to just about everyone's table.
Yes, and a gluten-free is not a food trend, but it's actually a serious thing. There is an intolerance and there is an autoimmune reaction for specifically people who have gluten intolerance or celiac disease, which I think more than 50% don't know they have. So it's a real issue in society now, and I think it's now starting to come out where, yeah, you know what, there should be more alternatives to wheat-based products.
And so I think it changes the moods of people. And so what you eat and digest is what brings out the energetic side of you, the moodful swings of sometimes people have different mood swings and they're not sure of what created that. You know, I just ate something that created a whole different reaction.
Absolutely.
And so mindful eating is very important.
Yes, you want to enjoy. You want everyone to enjoy. So if we have, we're hosting a party and we have guests or clients who have celiac disease, we want them to partake also in the festivities.
Right.
So this gluten-free Thanksgiving muffin will be a great way for them to partake in those festivities.
So tell me a little bit of the ingredients exactly and how did you prepare this?
So these ingredients is basically we've taken the stuffing that was from the turkey from the day prior. We've incorporated with a muffin mix. We added mushrooms, chestnuts,
Wow.
thyme. We added all the flavors and the seasonings that you would get from a Thanksgiving holiday. And then we added some cranberry sauce on top and a persimmon, sliced persimmons. Now, persimmons are usually called the winter fruit.
Really?
Yes, they're usually from September to December.
Persimmons.
Persimmons, yes. They're very found in Chinese culture. They date back 2,000 years ago. Dating in China where they were cultivated. It's one of the first fruits that were cultivated. So we use them a lot in the holidays. They usually use in pastries and sweets.
Wow.
I use them here fresh because they're ripe. They can be eating like a peach when they're ripe. And then I incorporated some brie cheese on top as well. And I paired it with a great apple cider for the holidays. Nice. So this speaks about the seasonality that we're in, and this is part of also healthy and local and nutritious eating. Eating within the seasons as well.
What about if you're allergic to nuts?
Deviate a little bit from the recipe, you will not incorporate nuts. We try to make sure that we ask the patient or the client before they eat if they have any allergies or intolerance.
And so when you're preparing a dish, I noticed that you add that ambiance of beauty in there.
And anything you do,
yes.
You want to show a intention,
right?
A little bit of passion and love for what you're doing. We want to make sure this is an experience for the patient or the client. So this shows a little bit of empathy and love that you've presented this.
I love the love in food.
Yes.
This just brings out everything. You celebrate with food, you pray with food, you bring friends closer with food, you bring family closer with food. And of course, when you have a good chef giving you great tips like you, then the food becomes even nicer. This muffin's been sitting in front of me, and I am just eager to taste this wonderful muffin.
Please try it. Now,
Yes.
the inspiration for this was to have you have a Thanksgiving, a warmth, a bit of creaminess and the cranberry, the acidity, the freshness from the persimmons. So it's just a way to elevate the stuffing for the next day a little, to just give it a nice elevated touch as well.
This is just pure heaven.
Thank you.
It's delicious. I love the persimmon.
Yes.
Now I have to look for persimmon when I go
You
shopping.
should. You should. It's really good.
You'll have to taste this.
And then it's paired with a nice apple cider as well, just to, again, speaking about that seasonality and keeping in line with the holidays as well.
What gave you the inspiration to have this muffin specifics?
Well, what gave me the inspirations was the practicality of when you have those leftovers from the holidays, and also the fact that we're in the season of persimmons, we're in the season of cranberries, we're in the season where we can use these ingredients to their utmost. So
Delicious.
you're welcome.
And I
Thank
love
you.
the fact that you paired it with apple cider.
Yes, I paired it with the apple cider just to keep within that realm of seasonality.
I just love it. I'd love the audience to come by and taste some
Well,
of this is so delicious.
And I'm glad you asked. We have muffins.
Wow,
for
and we
all.
have muffins. Wow,
We have
amazing.
Thanksgiving.
So as we invite our guests to come up and taste this wonderful muffin that the chef has created, wow. I tell you, this is very delicious. We have to take a short break. When we return, Chef Michael Thomas will be cooking in our studio today. So don't go away.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. And the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She carried 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back to Talk with Maria. Today we are talking with Chef Michael Thomas. We have been talking about healthy eating. Now we get into the opportunity to see him in action. So Chef Michael, I am excited. That muffin was just amazing. So leftovers can really be put to the test and create something so delicious and so heartwarming that you just want to stay home, put your feet up and just digest and know that you're eating clean.
And the key thing, it was gluten-free.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very mechanical, but very precise, where we can have everyone enjoy no matter their restrictions as well. So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a seasonal omelet with cabbage and kale, brie cheese. And what I'll have you do first is, if you can, crack 1 egg.
Crack 1 egg.
And now, do you know the difference between brown eggs and white eggs?
No, can you be so kind enough to let us know? Although I like brown eggs.
Well, brown eggs are actually more nutritious. They have a lot of omegas in them, but it's usually because the feather of the chicken. So if you grew up in a farm, like white chickens usually yield white eggs, and brown chickens, feathered chickens, usually brown eggs.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
the next thing I'm gonna do is add a little butter to my pan here, and we're just gonna warm it up. Now, I use butter especially because seed oils tend to have a lower smoking point, as well as it could be carcinogenic if they're smoked. So butter also adds flavor, but it also adds nutrients as well.
Is there any specific butter? So I go into the supermarket and we're looking around at butters. There are 10 butters there. Which one am I actually choosing?
Grass-fed.
Grass-fed butters.
Or grass-fed is very good. And also ghee butter is good as well.
Really?
Yes. So ghee butter is like clarified butter, where they remove all the solids as well. It has a higher smoking point, clarified butter or ghee butter, but it's also more nutritious. So when the cow eats, the cow really stores a lot of nutrients from what it eats from the grass. So a lot of those nutrients that the cow has can go into the milk and into the dairy.
Nice.
So it's extremely nutrient.
Wonderful. So shall I start whisking the eggs?
Yes, please.
Okay, great.
Thank
Here
you.
I am whisking the eggs. I'm in the kitchen of Chef Michael. We're going to be tasting this wonderful omelet. And to all my folks at home, it's very easy to do. A few eggs, low heat.
And especially after the holidays, when you wake up, you have extra cabbage, extra asparagus, extra Brussels sprouts.
Right.
You can cut it very smallly, and you can make an omelet out of some of these leftovers as well.
And you really just don't want these things to go to waste.
No, you don't. It's all about sustainability. It's about using products to its full capacity.
Interesting. I
So
like
minimalizing waste.
that. And also minimalizing money, because sometimes you have stuff in your fridge that you haven't actually used and you want to just utilize it to make sure that you get the best of the entire product that you purchase.
Very nice whisking, Maria. Looks great.
Thank you.
So the next thing we're going to do, after we wilt down the kale and the Brussels sprouts, what
Right.
you're going to do is you're going to pour the eggs mixture into the
Watch
pan.
me pour egg whites. Am I making
Mixture.
circles?
Yeah, anywhere you like. Beautiful.
And I use every single drop.
There's many different ways we can make an omelet. What
Wow.
we want to do is we want to just continue to stir the pan and make sure all the eggs are coagulated and cooperated and cook evenly.
Wow.
So that's why we stir, making sure we clean the sides.
Nice.
And usually when you're apprenticing to be a chef in a professional kitchen, eggs are one of the first dishes you make to test your cooking abilities. Do you know why, Maria?
I guess for consistency.
Yes, for consistency, for your ability to control the temperature.
I'm already tasting this egg, let me tell you.
So now we can add, you can use a fork and we can add a little brie cheese in the middle.
A little brie cheese.
You can just put one in the middle of the omelet. Perfect.
Wow.
We just incorporated that right there.
I love brie.
well.
What about if you're vegan? How does the whole dietary need play into?
So when you're vegan, a lot of times they have, which is very nice, they have tofu turkey. They have a lot of options for you to also enjoy the holidays and meals as well. We've come a long way. We have a lot of vegan options as well. We have meatless meat.
Nice.
Yes.
Meatless meat.
So we keep this no more than 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. These eggs should really be cooked quite quickly.
Right.
We want to make sure that the eggs are fully cooked.
Understandable.
So, yes. So now we're going to transfer the omelet to the plate, Maria.
Wonderful.
And you can just hold the plate. And there's our omelet. Now, the flavor profile that I really find comfort in is spicy and sweet, which is a great flavor profile from the Caribbean as well.
Nice.
So one of my favorite ingredients, and you could put a little bit of the chili orange chutney on top. And my favorite ingredient is tamarind. And then we're gonna put a little bit of winter garnishes on top like this,
Wow.
because we have to make it aesthetically pleasing as well. So this is very interesting because we have Brussels sprouts, kale, a little bit of brie cheese, and we have a spicy chutney on top.
Wow.
So we get a lot of different flavors, but it keeps it still grounded in the season.
Let's taste this wonderful, delicious meal. So I'm going to delve into the chutney a little bit, and then I am going to take a little bit of this delicious Chef Michael's menu.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Thank you.
Try this at home. You wouldn't go wrong. Chef Michael, it was an honor having you.
Thank you for
I thank
having
you
me.
so much for
Thank you.
coming on board with us today. And thank you for joining us. I hope you found our conversation informative and inspiring. For more information on our website, talkwithmaria.com. Remember, caregivers, nourish your body and soul. Small changes add up. Talk with Maria is made possible by, if you're passionate about helping others, become a certified home health aide with Home Health Aid Training Institute, 516-333-3689, or visit hhati.com. Experience the authentic taste of Italy in the heart of Westbury. Rialto Restaurant. Make your reservation at 516-997-5689. Brooklyn Boulevard Home Care. They care for you in the comfort of your own home. To schedule your care, call 718-683-8303.